Hey guys, this is a Polarizer from Neil Blender's company, The Hated Wheel. It's basically a nod back to the 60s era of skateboarding. It blends the soulful essence of early sidewalk surfing with the benefits of modern technology, and especially with respect to the limitations of the old clay wheels and crappy bearings. What makes it unique from other retro skateboards is the convex nose and tail here. It's got roller skate style of trucks, and then it has a relatively long wheelbase. It really challenges the perceptions of what a modern skateboard ought to be, and it's called a Polarizer because you're either gonna love it or you're gonna hate it. I've been riding this one for the last couple of weeks, and ironically, I'm not quite sure if I do love it or if I hate it yet. It's a lot of fun in a lot of ways. It really is kind of like relearning to skateboard, just a very different experience. But on the other hand, it's incredibly frustrating because tricks like going up steeper banks or carving corners of a bowl are exceptionally hard on this compared to my regular skateboard. For example, getting up over this bank right here is pretty easy on my regular skateboard, but on this Polarizer, I'm having a hard time even getting up above the bricks on it without stepping off, but it's a lot of fun trying. There, yeah. Okay, so we're back in my home office here, and I'll share some more of my thoughts about riding it later in the video. And spoiler alert, I think it really comes down to you needing to go a lot faster than you think when you're making tighter turns. But first, let's chat a little bit about the background behind Polarizers and why I became so interested in getting one. And we'll rewind to me setting this up and chatting about the components. And then finally, we'll get back to the skate park and I'll share some of my ups and downs riding this thing, and it's really growing on me. Okay, so if you skated in the 80s, I'm sure you remember the legendary Neil Blender. He was one of the top skaters of the day and was well known for his innovative style and creative approach. He created and named a whole bunch of tricks, but I think his most famous one is the lean air, which is his name spelled backwards. And I believe he was the first to have a pro deck with his own hand-drawn graphics. He was instrumental in shaping the skateboarding culture with his artistic sensibilities and irreverence to the status quo. And he's sort of always done his own thing, which is awesome. And as far as I can tell, about 10 to 15 years ago, he started messing around with boards that we now know as Polarizers. And he was experimenting with old hardware, screwing roller skate trucks onto old decks. And eventually he questioned the need for tails at all and found the benefits of how the Polarizer shape allowed the deck to flex, adding speed from carving rebounds. He experimented with all sorts of old trucks, roller skate trucks, wheels, etc., until he came up with what we now know as Polarizers. And his first production decks were hot ticket items and super hard to come by. And as a result, a lot of folks would resort to their own DIY versions. And then a whole tinkering culture built up around finding the right roller skating trucks, the right bushings, the right axles, pivot cups, wheelbases, etc. But in the last couple of years, the Hated Wheel and Polarizers have grown popular enough that they've started producing their own trucks and wheels with pre-drilled decks. And that's what we've got right here. Let's rewind to my visit last fall to the Skateboarding Hall of Fame and Museum in Simi Valley, California, where I had the opportunity to get a personal tour from the founder, Todd Huber. And every part of that tour was absolutely amazing. I'll link to the video down below, but one of the things that stood out to me the most was just how cool the huge wall of 60 skateboards was. Most of my life I've focused on 80s and modern skateboards, but after visiting the museum and hearing Todd's awesome stories, I've been more and more interested in the earlier aspects of skateboarding. I've known about Neil Blender's Polarizers for a while, but they never really appealed to me until after that visit. And then during Easter weekend, Skull and Bones Skateboards had a coupon for an additional 20% off sale items, and I noticed that this deck was on sale, coming out to be about $49 shipped, and that was just too good of a deal to pass up. So yeah, I finally pulled the trigger. And then I went down the rabbit hole of researching what trucks and wheels to get. The most popular option for these was using Shore Grip roller skate trucks, and then swapping the bushings out with something like Bone Softs. So a little more than a year ago, the Hated Wheel introduced their own Polarizer trucks, and these are essentially updated roller skate style trucks, apparently based off the geometry of some old Chicago trucks. And the designs have been modernized to incorporate all the best tweaks and modifications from years of experimenting into something that works perfectly as a stock set of trucks. Similarly, there's been a lot of experimentation with wheels, and up until the heated wheel came out with these phase casters last summer, it seems that the standard go-to for these setups was Bone's Rough Riders, and those are still popular today, but at this point I was already ordering these trucks, so I figured I might as well get the matching wheels. And finally, for the grip tape, I wanted something a little more fun than a traditional plain grip tape job, but I didn't feel like getting too weird with it, so I'm carrying forward the surfboard vibe with a couple of black stripes on the top. Okay, so let's go ahead and get the grip tape applied first. Perfect. Nice, I'm really stoked with how this turned out. All right, let's get the trucks mounted. Oh yeah, and a quick reminder, if you weren't paying attention earlier on and you're like, hey, you put the grip tape on the wrong side, the nose and the tail, they actually kind of convex down a little bit on these. So yeah, this is the proper way. Okay, so I've got these phase caster bearings here. I don't really know much about them, but they're the heated wheel kind of shop brand, and I was going to get just some Bones Red, some relatively inexpensive bearings, and these were about the same price as those, so I figured I'd give them a shot and just kind of keep the whole heated wheel phase caster vibe here together with the wheels. So that's what we're going to go with. So let's go ahead and rip these open. These wheels here are, again, they're called phase casters. They're Sofatones, and they are 56 millimeters and 78A durometer. They have kind of a rough, I think they called it like stone ground or whatever, but kind of texture here on the outside. But yeah, these are pretty sick. So let's go ahead and get these. They have a plastic core on here. Doesn't take much to get it in. So let's just kind of run down the line here. All right, and there we have it. I'm really stoked on this. I plan to ride it a little bit before filming some first impressions and thoughts. So I'm gonna take this outside and have a little bit of fun with it, and then we'll see you a little bit later at the skate park. So yeah, here we are a couple of weeks later. I've had a few sessions since I filmed the intro video, and with respect to loving it or hating it, I'm really starting to love it. It really forces you to think a little bit more creatively. I'm finding that you've got to go a lot faster than you think you do to make the sharper turns, which is fun, but also the stakes are a little bit higher because when you fall off, you're at higher risk of getting hurt. And it's forcing me to think more creatively how I skate. I'm using different parts of the park when compared to using my regular skateboard. Going front side across this taco thing here is really fun. It has a really surfy vibe to it. But for some reason, I'm finding it's a lot easier going front side than coming back this way, backside. Over here in this banked area, I had a little bit of trouble at first, and I really missed having a kicktail to get you out of a turn where your carve wasn't going just right. But I've been learning to maybe adjust my angle of attack a little bit and how I lean, and I'm starting to get the hang of it, and it's a lot of fun. One of the things I'm finding really difficult with this is keeping my speed between the walls and banks. I think these 78A wheels might be a bit too soft for the smooth concrete. If you've got experience with Polarizers, let me know what hardness you ride at the skate park. So yeah, I'm having trouble keeping my speed right in through here. Okay, let's head over to the kiddie pool and check it out. Okay, so I thought this little baby pool was really sketchy on this thing at first, but I found that the faster you go, the better you stick. And coming through on the front side is pretty easy to keep speed, but I'm finding as I come back around here and need to come up over this corner, I'm just losing so much speed to get over here. And on my normal skateboard, I have no problem with that, but yeah, I don't know if it's these softer wheels or what. I really love the idea of coming up and carving around this little bank here, and I'm just still having a hard time figuring out how to carry my speed through. But I am having a lot of fun with all like the little beginner area stuff here. It's awesome. Oh, yeah, that ain't going good. Okay, so we're back in my office with a few closing thoughts. And if you've ever felt like you're in a little bit of a rut with your skating routine, or maybe you're bored with your board, then I definitely recommend a Polarizer for something new to try. And it's sort of like putting a donut on a baseball bat, or learning to ski or snowboard on icy conditions. And when you take the donut off or you ski in fresh snow, it's so much easier. And I think the Polarizer is sort of like that for skateboarding. It's a bit more difficult than a regular skateboard, but learning how to skate on such a little board with no kicktail really helps you hone in your balance skills on a regular skateboard. And then, of course, like I said earlier, I love the connection to the early days of skateboarding. So how about you? Is this something that you'd consider riding, or is it just too weird for your taste? Have you ever ridden a Polarizer? Let me know down in the comments. And yeah, it's cliche, but if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like or leave a comment. It really does help with the algorithm, which in turn helps to grow the channel. So thanks again, and we'll see you in the next video. All right, bye-bye.